What was the last thing that we discussed? Finance Commission कुछ कर रहे थे ना? अरे so Finance Commission report will come out on the 31st of November. So then 16th Finance Commission, I'll send you some PDF or something. 31st November I checked today. Yeah. What in Finance Commission did we finish?
About Article 293 and 275, and they're asking you to stop the Finance Commission every second.
So 15th Finance Commission, certain recommendations we did discuss, right? How it changed and all.
We didn't discuss the changes.
Changes we did discuss, no? Oh no, we discussed the changes, right? From you have not written. Are I'll explain again. You just write while I'm explaining. So what was before 15th Finance Commission? I mean, till 15th Finance Commission came in, how was revenue sharing done? On what basis? What two primary basis? Population and land area. Population and land area. Within population and land area, things eventually got added. And from where the population was taken? Which census? 1971 census. Why is that so? Why 1971 census? What was different back then? Hmm? So the population policies of state, southern India population policy was implemented very well, population control policy. And in northern India, this population control policy did not work very well. The state governments did not seriously implement the policies. This led to what? This led to significant population disparities in the southern parts of India and the northern parts of India. Yes. So birth control happened. Therefore, a particular metric was inserted by the 15th Finance Commission. And what did they? Yeah, I guess I have dictated that thing. You haven't written 15th Finance Commission has brought in criteria of how population control mechanisms has been done. Acha, wait. I must have written it somewhere. Hmm. So we wrote under committee recommendation, 15th Finance Commission recommended using 2011 census data. We have written that, right? 2011 census data to reflect demographic changes. No? This thing we have written. Hmm? Yeah, that is the effective part of it under this particular topic. When it comes to revenue or fiscal or financial devolution. After this, We have discussed FRBM. You all understand what FRBM means? All of you have written or not? Okay, okay. Next, let me see. Now, the role of Finance Commission, you must have written the role specifically, but also write certain pointers that what Finance Commission has uh, recommended so as to increase or solve the fiscal crunch of the state. You just write down some solutions that not only the 15th Finance Commission, but Finance Commission with all the time. So, first, they wanted to strengthen fiscal federalism. They wanted to strengthen fiscal federalism. They wanted to empower states. They wanted to empower states with greater revenue generating powers, possibly, possibly through devolution of certain taxes, through devolution of certain taxes to reduce dependence on central transfers, to reduce dependence on central transfers. Second, incentivizing fiscal discipline. Under this, write a particular example of Punjab having the debt to GDP ratio. Explain debt to GDP ratio. Okay? Punjab's debt to GDP ratio is almost 50%. 50%. How much did FRBM recommend? 60%. Within 60%, how much should states have? Center should have 40, state should have 20. In place of 20, it has more than 2.5%, 2.5 times. So, write Punjab's example. Incentivizing fiscal discipline. Finance Commission wanted to link fiscal transfers to states, wanted to link fiscal transfers to states with their adherence to the FRBM Act or FRBM targets, promoting fiscal discipline, promoting fiscal discipline. Within this point, right, the NK Singh committee, on FRBM. So NK Singh, this individual was the chairman of the Finance Commission, 15th Finance Commission. He was chairman of another committee on FRBM Act in 2017. Okay? NK Singh committee, NK Singh committee on FRBM suggested implementing a fiscal responsibility index, to incentivize states. Now, what is this fiscal responsibility index? You must have seen uh, under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, there are particular dashboards for municipalities and different states. For example, Indore used to top this dashboard for a lot of years as the cleanest city in India. Huh? So what does this ranking do? This ranking shows the state where all every state stands. Okay? This makes what? This makes it possible to create a competition among states that who stands first. Now this creates a healthy competition that some municipalities, some states, they try harder to climb the ladder. In I guess 1998, I was reading today only, just before class. When it comes to Jharkhand, whenever Jharkhand was created, especially this was during 2005. Okay, the ease of doing business index, the ranking of Jharkhand, whatever index that was during that time, that showed that how easy is to make is to start a business in uh, Jharkhand. So Jharkhand was the lowest. So within 2 years, it climbed to third place when it comes to ease of doing business, especially from, I guess this was during 2005 to 2007. This shows what? This shows that once these rankings are there, states compete with each other to go at the top. For example, if we make a particular index, for example, FDI index, which state is attracting the most amount of FDI? Okay. Now, that will suddenly put the state governments in the front foot, attract or creating a lot of investor summits across the country. In this investor summit, what will happen is they'll bring in investors from a lot of areas. Okay. Globally, investors will come. Every state will say, okay, we'll give land for free, bijli for free, pani for free, etc., etc. Whatever labor cost you require, skill development, we'll pay for it. Just come. Okay. So now they have reversed this idea. Whenever we see some movies that was before LPG reforms, uh, 1970s, 80s movies, you will see any industrialist going to a government office and doing this. Now the chief minister goes and do this to the industrialist. So this means what? This approach has changed. Okay? Why is this so? Because promoting competition among states. Okay? Promoting competition among states to attract more and more capital into the state that can be invested. Okay, understood? Now, uh, so this is the dashboard ranking method that is used to show, okay, this is the rank. For example, in class, if we start something for 50 people, we rank everybody, how everybody is performing. So automatically, whoever is a bit competitive will start performing better as compared to they were performing before. Then third point, right? Using updated demographic data, using updated demographic data, use the latest census data for distribution of resources, for distribution of resources while incorporating adjustment for states, adjustment for states that have controlled population growth, that have controlled population growth. That have controlled population growth. हाँ, पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ हो गया. हाँ, so उसमें ब्रैकेट में लिख दो 15 फाइनेंस कमीशन 2011 डेटा. Then fourth point is establishing a permanent finance commission. Under this, right, Dr. M. Govindarao advocates for a permanent finance commission to address emerging fiscal challenges more effectively. Uh, Finance Commission to address emerging fiscal challenges more effectively and ensure continuous fiscal oversight. And ensure continuous fiscal oversight. Fifth is promoting transparency and fairness. Promoting transparency and fairness. To ensure that Finance Commission's recommendations are based on objective criteria with transparent processes. To minimize political influence. So Finance Commission, you understand broadly what is Finance Commission. So according to you, for example, when it comes to fiscal policy, you see Finance Commission is also a player in fiscal policy. And whenever you write an answer in federalism, whenever you see the term federalism in public administration answer, if there is a scope of putting in Finance Commission as a significant paragraph, you put Finance Commission in. If you can put Mr. Govindrao's name, you put his name. Next, we'll do something under district administration. But before I begin district administration and other topics such as civil services reforms, what I want to discuss is that let us discuss the issues first. What issues are there? Actually, let's understand the problem first. What issues are asked in exams, and then we'll write those issues down as our notes, and then we'll go on to the specific written things in the syllabus, and then we'll write notes for that. So first, when it comes to issue, within Finance Commission, remember one thing. You have written enough about Finance Commission, but understand a few things. Who constitutes the Finance Commission? The government constitutes. President. President, central government. Now, effectively, it is the ruling party that constitutes Finance Commission. Now, the last recommendation that you wrote, or last whatever point you wrote, in that point it is written that its recommendation are objective in nature. Right? Now, how it is recommending, there is a trust deficit between the southern states, especially like Kerala and Tamil Nadu, with the Finance Commission, with the central government especially, because they think Finance Commission favors states or northern states to breach. I mean, this particular trust deficit has to be overcome, right? So that's why Finance Commission does a lot of work. But because it is constituted by the central government, always these states have this particular deficit in their mind. Okay, whatever they are doing, it must be benefiting central government or the party in power in central government, and wherever that party is power in the states. Okay. Presently, under federalism, I mean, let's actually understand under federalism what all questions will be asked, because this is a Finance Commission is a particular topic within federalism, right? What questions will be asked? You have enough fodder material to write an answer, but just understand and think according to that. When it comes to federalism and when it comes to competitive federalism says what? One state should compete with one another. Yeah, and then both will grow eventually. Okay. Now, when we go down into the real things happening in the present day federal structure, such as Gujarat and Maharashtra, semiconductors are important parts of global value chain. Important kya matlab, they are the global value chain. It's like that. When it was decided between Tata and Foxconn to invest into a plant in Maharashtra, it was decided, the government there decided, and they wanted to put a plant in Maharashtra and start a semiconductor manufacturing, a fabrication plant they wanted. This was taken away. I mean, something happened, and this plant got shifted to Gujarat. Okay. Now, a lot of hue and cry started that the central government is favoring Gujarat over Maharashtra. Okay. Such things are not a part of competitive federalism. That one state should not pull out projects from under the feet of another state. Yes. Now, questions will be asked on such kind of issues. Questions won't be asked that it won't be asked in some scholar's name or something. In paper 2, questions will be asked specifically on where all are the issues within federalism are. Where all is the issue right now when it comes to investors? Where all investment is coming? Okay, where all is there a development deficit? So wherever there is a development deficit, such as states like Bihar, there is a development deficit. So if somebody goes and promises in Bihar that okay, we'll build direct trains to industrial cities like Tamil Nadu and Gujarat, cities in Tamil Nadu and Gujarat, that means they are preferring a particular state's industrial complex and favoring a particular state producing labor for it. Therefore, to maintain these balances, there are a lot of mechanisms that has been created. You use these mechanisms. The point of this discussion was see what issues in federalism are, because especially in paper 2, I can't list down a set of topics. Of course, I mean, whatever we are writing will be useful for you, but one can't list down a list of topics. Okay, within this only questions will come. 2-3 questions will come outside of that, and these are the questions where it will come. So whenever you come across these kind of questions in your exams, do not get unfazed, because whatever is being asked will be answer will come out of this. We have enough arsenal for that. You just have to use it that way. Whenever you read federalism or new issues in federalism, start using these things. Okay, start adding as example of those things into this. Whenever you see that in Himachal Pradesh, the government is under a lot of debt. But Himachal Pradesh suddenly started something called the old pension scheme. Now, old pension scheme is something that government will pay all the, all the Sarkari employees after they retire. Government will pay you money, half of your salary. This was the old pension scheme. This was before 2004. At a national level, India brought in something called the new pension scheme under Atal Bihari Vajpayee, saying that you contribute some money, your employer will contribute some money, and there will be a huge corpus of money that will be there. Some amount you will get after whenever you get retired, you get a lump sum money, or you will get a yearly or monthly pension, that whatever it is. Okay? New pension scheme divided the fiscal burden from a previously old pension scheme was completely state led. Yes. New pension scheme, individual will contribute because some part of your salary is going for that contribution, and your employer will contribute. Is anywhere state written here? No, right? That means what? New pension scheme can also be for private sector individuals also. Okay? Now, Himachal Pradesh went back to this. All fiscal burden is for the state. Okay? Previously, under NPS, if you are a government employee, some money from your salary will go to your pension fund, and government will pay some money to the salary to the pension fund. It was divided. Now it become double. Okay? Kerala, Punjab, and Himachal Pradesh, they have notorious fiscal deficit, and still the government chose to do this. Just, I mean, especially before elections, they promised that they'll bring back OPS, old pension scheme. So these are actual issues. Whenever you read the newspaper and you come across these issues, you write all of these down as an example. So when it comes to federal issues and issues with fiscal federalism, you just write the going back of Himachal Pradesh to OPS is an example of fiscal irresponsibility. Understood? Fiscal irresponsibility. So these are examples of it. So whenever you write answers, you do not write only theoretical answer. You give these examples. You give how the semiconductor plant went from Maharashtra to Gujarat, how Himachal Pradesh went back to new pension scheme to old pension scheme. You don't have to follow one political spectrum of criticisms, right? You criticize both the governments, whichever party is in power. Okay? That means you are dealing with real issues. You do not care which government you are criticizing. फेडरलिज्म के अंडर ये चीजें ध्यान रखनी है. Now next topic that we'll do is district administration. Now, if this is a district, it will be divided into different blocks. So at the top level, there will be sitting the district magistrate. There will be different areas where additional district magistrate or sub SDM will be there. Within these blocks, there will be small blocks within these sub districts. These blocks will be known as the person heading this block of district administration will be called a BDO, block development officer. Till now, just understand this. Okay? So this is how administration is divided. When it comes to the political part of it, first understand the framework and then we'll go into the discussion. At the village level, what is there politically? Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat. So Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat. At the upper level, there is the block. We just understood. At block level, what is there? Block उसके ऊपर district है. अरे, municipal is a city thing. Block level, for example, a set of villages. Who sits there? Block Samiti sits. Okay? block samiti sits, and from here, what is there in district level politically? Zilla Parishad. Yes. Here is the BDO working. Here is the DM working. Understood? And understand this. Let's not go to the village level yet. Who should be the primary decision maker? You know 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. Politically, as a fact, you know. Amendment Act that brought in Panchayati Raj into India. Panchayats and municipalities into India. Now, once the government has pivoted towards Panchayati Raj institutions, theoretically, what should be our assumption? Who should call the shots when it came to decision making at block level or district level? Who should be the decision maker? Basically, this side should be the decision maker. This side should be the executive, execution part. The issue is, it is opposite. In many states, it is opposite. So see, these names can change from state to state. This is the major framework. Okay? Names can change. Here, decision making is happening, and here, decision making is happening. Here, a lot of issues are happening. So actually, even though the structurally there is democracy, functionally there is no democracy. People are getting elected, but the final shots are being called by the administrative heads. Now, how do we solve this problem? For example, if they are dominating something, how do we solve this? Because you can see most of the people here have no administrative experiences. Many of them, they do not have administrative experiences. Most of them aren't well read, but they have been elected by the people. Here, people are well read, administrative experiences, they know the law. That is why this part is dominating this part. To solve this problem, what second ARC said is to make this is like a government, this is like a cabinet, council of ministers at the district level. Yes, the DM should act as the secretary of the Zilla Parishad. The way finance secretary is there assisting the finance minister, the way that should be there, and there should be a district government, and the person heading the Zilla Parishad, the chief of the head political leader, should be the head of the district government, and this person should be the secretary to the district government. So after district, when we go to the state level, we find actually these things, right? Chief minister or secretary. तो सेकंड एआरसी सिंपली ये बोलता है कि इसको हम ऐसे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. Now remember this second ARC recommendation. It is a very important recommendation whenever you अभी तो डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन पढ़ रहे हैं, जब लोकल गवर्नमेंट्स और म्युनिसिपैलिटी रूरल लोकल गवर्नमेंट्स पढ़ेंगे उसमें बाकी चीजें आएंगी. हाँ, this particular part. You understand why it is saying so? Okay, so that the DM is under their control, political control of theirs, okay? And they function whatever they decide. Okay, now we will come to that. We'll come to that. So this is second ARC's recommendation. Okay, I'm just first let's understand the problem, and this is what second ARC is saying. We'll write a few things and discuss a lot. Now, first let's understand how district magistrate's role has shifted with time, how functional division of district has been done. and then we'll see what exactly is the issue under this. Okay. So you write something about the district magistrate or the district in India, district administration in India. So, right, district has been the principal unit of administration in India for centuries. Under British rule, it was the pivot of the administration. It was the pivot of the administration, and the district collector was its steel frame. And the district collector was its steel frame. Designed primarily for revenue collection and maintaining order. Revenue collection and maintaining order. Revenue collection and maintaining order. Reread this line again and by heart this line. District collector or district magistrate was its steel frame, designed primarily for revenue collection and maintaining order. All issues in civil services, primarily at the district level, rise from this line. The way the British designed the office of the district magistrate. Since independence, write down, since independence, the district administration's focus has fundamentally shifted from control to development and welfare. From control to development and welfare. However, this transition has been complex. Creating new challenges and role conflict. The institution has had to adapt to the imperatives of a democratic federal and welfare oriented state. Particularly after the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments. So what does this mean? This means that the state as a structure in India, we studied Mughal administration and British administration in the first unit. State as a structure in India has changed from a police and revenue collecting state to a more welfare state. Understood? To a more welfare state. Under this particular thing, the administration that was here was continued under here. That is why all the bad things about administration that we study today is because of this. That we changed the political structure at top, but the steel frame remained the same. And of course, it evolved with time. It's not that it's the same since the last 70 years, but the problems that still persist in the Indian administration is because of this. Police and revenue collecting state. Now, because it is a welfare state now, what is the primary purpose of the welfare state? Serve people. What was the primary concern before? To collect more revenue, to police people so that they don't rebel against the state, okay? To enforce the very idea of state. That was their function. Here, the administration is responsible to the people through representative democracy, that diagram. Because this has happened, the administration has not evolved that much as politically things evolved. That is why the district magistrate's office or the district collector's office is the first thing that faces the heat, because this is the office that was created specifically by the British to collect this particular revenue. Whenever we see issues in Indian administration, we start from this district administration, right? District में exactly क्या हो रहा है, ठीक है? Because that is where all policies are framed. Wherever it has framed, it actually is put into action at the district level. Yes, that is where problems are arising. So now, right next, the changing role of the district collector. All right, the district collector's role has evolved through distinct phases, transforming from a all powerful transforming from being all powerful under the British to a complex coordinator right now. Complex coordinator at present लिख लो. So phase one, right, when it comes to phases, phase one was from 1947 to 1960s. 47 to 60s. All right, till I mean, ठीक है, जितना लिखा है ठीक है. This was the phase of the collector being the prime mover, right? It being the prime mover of administration. So in the initial years, write down in the initial years, the collector's prestige was at its peak. The collector was the eyes, ears, and hands. I hope you have enough pages for today. Pawan, do you? Of course, these can help anytime. The collector was the eyes, ears, and hands of the government, responsible for everything. Responsible for everything from post-partition refugee rehabilitation, from post-partition refugee rehabilitation to agricultural production. To agricultural production. Within this, write a point, community development program, 1952. Community development program, 1952. This was by Nehru government. The collector was made the head of the district development team, and the chairman of district planning committee, and the chairman of district planning committee. The collector was the captain of the team. Yeah. Within quotes लिख देना captain. The rest of the things I don't dictate are not important, I believe. Uh, he was the captain of the team, directly responsible for implementing the first 5-year plans at the ground level. The first 5-year plans at the ground level. What does this term suggest? Uh, the first 5-year plans. That means the initial 5-year plans. 2, 3 भी हो सकता है, इसने की first ही किया है बस. So write the phase 2, second phase, when it comes to district collector. Uh, the role of development coordinator. The role of development coordinator. This is from 1970s to 1990s or 1980s actually. Development coordinator. This era saw the rise of specialized development programs, and a growing welfare state. Specialized under this point, right? Specialized agencies like DRDA, specialized agency like the DRDA, that is District Rural Development Agency, were created to handle anti-poverty programs, Next point, right? While the collector was often the chairman of these agencies, his role shifted from direct implementation to coordination. Separate project directors were appointed, leading to a diffusion of development function. This phase also saw the generalist collector coordinating a growing number of specialist department, a generalist collector, the generalist collector coordinating a growing number of specialist departments. Example, executive engineer, chief medical officer, specialist departments. The next phase, third phase, I believe. Chetan, you look very tired. What can we do? कौन सा सेमिनार है? अच्छा, कौन से कॉलेज में? बुंदेलखंड यूनिवर्सिटी। ऑनलाइन सेमिनार होगा? क्या पता है मतलब? No, your college is going on. अभी थर्ड ईयर है, अभी फाइनल ईयर है ना? फाइनल ईयर अभी नेक्स्ट ईयर खत्म होगा। ठीक है, और क्या सब्जेक्ट है तुम्हारा? हिस्ट्री ना? हाँ, यू हैव टोल्ड मी हिस्ट्री, यस। हाँ, phase 3, right, a contested figure. This time period is 1990s to 2000s. 1990s to 2000s. Right, the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act created a fundamental challenge. 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts created a fundamental challenge to the collector's supremacy. To the collector's supremacy. First is it created a new power center within this. The amendments, under this point, the amendments created a third tier of elected government. Was the elected government, that is Zilla Parishads, municipalities. So Zilla Parishads, for example, for a place like Delhi, there will be a municipality जहाँ पे elections होगा and mayor बनेगा उसका, ठीक है? The Zilla Parishad Adhyaksha, that means the president, the Zilla Parishad president, right? The president, Zilla Parishad president was an elected politician. And this president emerged as a competing power center. This politician emerged as a competing power center. From Gram Sabha, you get elected to Gram Panchayat. From the group of Gram Panchayat, you get elected to Block Samiti. From a group of Block Samitis, you get elected to Zilla Parishad. After getting elected in Zilla Parishad, those members elect you president. That means you are something, at least. Why would you listen to some administrative guy, right? Because you are a politician, you know the concerns of people. That is why the conflict began in 1990s. That is why the district magistrate is a contested figure now. Because previously there was nobody below the chief minister. Now this person is below the chief minister as a head of a particular district. So, for example, in a country, in a city, the mayor is an important position. Now, the municipal commissioner of Delhi has to be somewhat answerable to the mayor, right? Because mayor has been elected. So in different cities, the mayoral elections are not taken so much seriously. But have you guys been following the New York mayoral election? Yes, Mamdani. Everybody's fan favorite, I believe, right now. What a speaker, man! What a guy. I mean, I guess after Obama, the Democrats have finally found someone who can speak, and at least I can rally people. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Very decent guy, very really nice man, very down to earth. Plus, I mean, he's proud of his South Asian ancestry, and being a Muslim is very proud because of that. He doesn't hide.
He have a passion that happened between him and slightly like
Oh, the banter happened.
Not exactly, but this guy said if he comes to New York, I'll get him on or something.
Nah.
Like we are banning him from this that the corridor.
Yeah. They were saying before, I mean, before the election results came in, or while he was campaigning, a lot of people were saying that the Jews are against you. Mamdani was saying, I mean, Jews are suffering as much as Muslims are in this country. So, I mean, of course, the Jews have voted for him. A lot of people have supported him. So, I mean, even Jews in Israel are against Netanyahu either ways. That's the thing. So, new power center. Next point is ambiguous relationship. Ambiguous relationship. This structure, this particular structure, why I drew this is because all our discussion will be in this structure. This particular structure created a diarchy in many states. The question was, who was to be made responsible for districts development? Who was to be made responsible for the district's development? The elected Zilla Parishad Adhyaksh or the appointed district collector? The elected Zilla Parishad Adhyaksh or the appointed district collector? Within the country, there are varying models. Within the country, there are varying models. So first is such as Gujarat and Maharashtra. Gujarat and Maharashtra, the Zilla Parishad is strong. Zilla Parishad is strong with its own CEO. So there is a CEO of the Zilla Parishad, and that CEO is an IAS officer. Write this down. CEO is an IAS officer. And the collector's role is minimal. The collector's role is minimal. Or sorry, the collector's developmental role is minimal. I'm sorry. The collector's developmental role is minimal. In many other states, or in most other states, the collector retained power by controlling the DRDA, the District Rural Development Agency that we wrote before, controlling the DRDA, which was intentionally, kept separate from the Zilla Parishad, which was intentionally kept separate from the Zilla Parishad. Within this, right, or full stop, start a, or write a comma and then start or or by being designated as the district development officer. Basically, collector is being powerful by two means: being the chairman of DRDA or being designated as the district development officer, by being designated as the DDO, district development officer. Takshila, if given a choice, what service will you choose? IAS. Okay.
Very moral reason for IPS, but
You have very moral reasons for IPS. Okay. He also has a lot of reasons for IPS. Yeah. His first choice is that only.
IS.
ज्वाइन कर लिया है? अच्छा ओके। तुम्हारे लिए गेस्ट वेट करेगा नहीं करेगा? अच्छा। Hmm. So you understand the complexity of role that district magistrate played till the 90s. From 2000s to present, right? The fourth phase, from 2000s to the present, the role is of the crisis manager and facilitator. The role is of a crisis manager and facilitator. The modern collector's role, the modern collector's role is defined by new complex challenges, new complex challenges beyond traditional revenue and development, beyond traditional revenue and development. First point within this, the multiple roles that district magistrate plays today. One is disaster management. Disaster management. The Disaster Management Act of 2005, the Disaster Management 2005 makes the district magistrate the ex officio chairperson, ex officio chairperson of District Disaster Management Authority, District Disaster Management Authority. This role has become one of the most critical functions as seen during COVID-19. Next point, election management. Election management. They have given a different topic altogether in the name of the video. Civil services reform to start in किया election management. So as the district election officer, DEO, as the district election officer, DEO, the collector is responsible. The collector is responsible for all parliamentary and assembly elections assembly elections. Now you can see, so these are first, write the rest and then we'll discuss. Right, next point, e-governance. E-governance. The collector is the chief implementer. The collector is the chief implementer of e-governance projects, from computerizing land records to managing citizen service portals. Managing citizen service portals. Citizen service portals. Next point, right? Regulatory and coordinative roles. Regulatory and coordinative roles. The collector's primary role. The collector's primary role today is coordination of over 40 district level departments. 40 district level departments. ब्रैकेट में लिख दो, of over 40 district level departments. Other roles are like crisis management, public grievance redressal. So now we can see, I mean, with all the points we have written, how the evolution is happening from a more controlling and a police administration or a policing administration to a more welfare administration. Yes, they are made responsible to a lot of tasks that is done at the district level. To solve this particular conundrum that was happening since independence, that you cannot trust the district collector's role as the uh, district collector being the be all and end all of district administration. You can't trust only one person and trust one person. That is why a lot of different offices came under, such as, imagine the office of block development officer. Okay? Now at the block level, for example, let's discuss something. See, under district administration, there are a lot of other notes. I'll make you write with time. I'm not completely discussing everything in one go, because there are a lot of issues within district administration that is not at all possible to cover in one class. So district administration will keep continuing, going back to the issues and discussing. What was I discussing? What was I about to say? Block development officer. So मान लो aspirational district program I have discussed with you, how it was happening. To change this, I mean, to make it more pinpoint, aspirational block program was brought in. Now, what are these aspirational block programs? So these are the programs that has to be there in many of your answers. You use government schemes and their implementations as examples to showcase this. Aspirational block program. Now, within a particular district, there might be many blocks, but we have identified, at least for example, 200 or 250 blocks that are very poor in India. Yes, there is abject poverty. The development indicators are at the ground level. Now, to improve that, we have made something called aspirational block program. In this aspirational block program, we use the same metrics like we used in the aspirational district program, such as key performance indicators are shown. that how is the nutrition level increasing with time. Then other things such as what do you say, water connection, I mean access to safe drinking water, schools and healthcare at that level, everything is measured. Every month everything is measured where all things are improving. That means there is a real time policy making happening. Policy is being made while it is being implemented. Okay, that policy making topic that we did in paper 1. So aspirational block program is happening at the block level, not at the district level, at the block level. It is more localized. Who is responsible for that? Of course, the district administration is responsible, but the direct guy who is acting under this is the BDO, block development officer. That means lot of government schemes have eventually changed and the focus has been diversified away from district collector. District collector's role, as we will study, will take a particular class on second ARC, okay? One particular class on second ARC, so that we have everything that in our fingertips that second ARC is recommending. Now, because under second ARC has said a lot of things about the district administration. Okay? We'll take a specific class on second ARC. Now, what the second ARC says is that at the block, at the district level, the district magistrate is so much engrossed in regulatory functions that he does not have time for developmental functions. Now, you all understand there can be one person, but there can be, that person can be the holders of different offices. For example, there is a prime minister. That prime minister is also the chairman of the Niti Aayog. Different offices. So, I mean, you also play different roles. Yeah? You can be a brother. You can be a son. Yeah? So that means you can be a student. You can be a teacher. I mean, these are different offices you hold. Okay. Person is the same. So now imagine district collector. The person is the same. Imagine on an average how many offices he holds. Guess, take a number. For example, 2 तो ऐसे ही हो गया देखो. District magistrate, that person is a district magistrate. That person is the district collector also. Same person. Yeah. In some states, he is the district development officer. He can be the CEO of Zilla Parishad. ये तो 4 ऑफिस तो यही हो गए. So take a number. How many offices does on an average a district collector holds in a district in India? 15. 119. These are the amount of offices, and on an average, a district collector holds 119 offices. This is the average. Some state it's more, some states it might be less. It is because the structural framework we have created is seriously messed up. That is why second ARC has recommended a lot of things. Second ARC has said, don't take away these offices from the district magistrate. Just see which all are regulatory functions and which all are developmental functions. You understand the difference? Regulatory and development. Developmental functions you take away from that person, give it to another officer. District development officer. Make that person a district development officer. Let that guy be DM and DC. Okay. He should only focus on the repetitive work of what do you say, regulatory work, whether things have been collected or not, whether things are going fine or not. Development ke liye, you have to apply your mind for development, right? Regulatory function is seeking compliance. भाई इतना चेक किया, इतना है कि नहीं. Regulatory के लिए क्या करना है? Development के लिए you can think, you have to think, you need time to think. Second ARC said because of so many offices, कुछ states में they were holding around 200 offices, a particular office. So because there are so many offices the district collector is holding, they do not have time to think about developmental functions. That is why development suffers, which is a genuine thing. How can a person do so many work? I mean, he's also the chairman of the DDMA. पांच तो यही हो गए. Yeah, so these kind of things. So the second ARC will say, you just fragment all of these offices. Don't make it one person. Make it different person, and create a district government which coordinates all of these things, which is actually grassroots democracy is functional, and the bureaucracy works according to the grassroots people who are elected. Yes. So now you can see how complex this setup is. That is why second ARC separate class is required. Just remind me. Hmm? Yeah, we'll have to have because syllabus khatam nahi hoga. I don't want to just run away with things that you aren't able to understand. फिर तो फायदा क्या? फिर तो notes ही दे दूं लिख के. So next point. The interaction of different governments at the district level. Interactions at the district level. First interaction, let's say the union district link between the union government and at the district level, the government. First point within this is All India Services. The district magistrate and the superintendent of police, IAS and IPS, are members of All India Services, recruited by the union, but are working under the state, are working under the immediate control of the state. Immediate control of the state. This makes them a critical federal link. This makes them a critical federal link, ensuring a national standard of administration. Ensuring a national standard of administration. Next point within this only, centrally sponsored schemes. The union government funnels vast funds directly to the district. Vast funds directly to the district. Example for MG Narega, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, directly to the district. Examples are this, comma, and the union government also sets the guidelines for implementation. For implementation, the collector is the nodal officer, is the nodal officer responsible for their implementation, responsible for their implementation, making him accountable, making him accountable to both the state and union governments, to both the state and union governments, and union governments. ठीक है, right? Unions, field agents, unions, field agents, the district machinery, the district machinery conducts all tasks for the union, conducts all tasks for the union, such as the census, such as the census and elections, such as the census and elections. Then comes the link between state and district. The collector reports to the state secretariat. Collector reports to the state secretariat through divisional commissioners, through divisional commissioners, or through divisional commissioners. Divisional commissions. The state controls the collector's posting and transfers, which is often used as a tool for political control, which is often used as a tool for political control. Tool for political control. ठीक है? Next point, right? State local link. Local link. No, don't write that. Write Panchayati Raj link. Sorry. Panchayati Raj link. This is the most contentious relationship. This is the most contentious relationship while the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act mandated decentralization. States have been reluctant to devolve the three Fs. States have been reluctant to devolve the three Fs. What are the three Fs, Pawan? And fund, functions, and functionaries. State governments and their agents. State governments and their agents often exercise control over local bodies rather than supporting them. Local bodies rather than supporting them. The collector often has the power. The collector often has the power to supersede or dissolve panchayats. Of course, on state government orders, in bracket, right, state government orders, or supersede or resolutions suspend resolutions, which is a major source of friction. This complex web makes the collector a buffer and a bridge between three tiers of government. Yes, can we take a 5 minutes break? I'm having a headache. वाला कुछ हो गया था क्या? स्टार्ट करें? Next, you write uh, next point you write is of role conflict. Role conflict. Role conflict. The issue of development management versus law and order. The collector must simultaneously be a friend of the people to development and a fear of the state to magisterial powers. Magisterial powers. Magisterial powers, you all understand? What are what are magisterial powers? Who is a magistrate? What is the power of a magistrate? Judge. No. But when it comes to a district magistrate, so for example, there are two offices: district collector and district magistrate. Okay? Now let's divide these two offices into two parts: district development officer and district magistrate. For example, this is the same person. Okay. How will these roles be different? This is the development officer, that is the district magistrate. How is magistrate's office having a different approach altogether?
So district office could have more decision-making power compared to officers, because officers.
No, what are magisterial powers? When we say somebody is a judicial magistrate, what are these magisterial powers that that person has? Power to punish. So we say somebody is a magistrate if that person has the power to punish. So district magistrate is a person who has the power to punish. To punish what? What does a district collector do? What does he collect? Revenue, land revenue, collector of land revenue. That is the term where district collector comes in. Within land revenue, if there is a dispute and there are problems because of that, so the district magistrate has the power to punish the perpetrator. So this is a magisterial power given to the district magistrate. That is where the power of the state comes into being. Are you able to understand how the power of the state is coming into being? Because of this power of the state. So there are two functions. One is the very classic good cop, bad cop conundrum. This person, DDO, is developing a lot of things. This person is exercising a kind of a law and order function. Right? How does the district magistrate execute the punishment? For example, district collector is responsible for law and order. If somebody is not following law and order, that person will be punished by the district magistrate. How will the district magistrate enforce the order? फॉर एग्जाम्पल सेक्शन 144 लगा हुआ है, ठीक है, 5 लोग असेंबल हो गए. हाउ विल डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर इंश्योर कि 5 लोग असेंबल ना हो साथ में, ना हो, और अगर हो गए हैं तो उनको क्या किया जाए? हाउ विल डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वर्क? पुलिस, राइट? The police, right? So there are two functions, remember. This DM is responsible for law and order, and under this law and order, the functions that the SP does when it comes to law and order is directly answerable and accountable to the district magistrate. So district magistrate has two forms of magisterial control: through punishing people for what they have done, or sitting as a uh, in revenue courts and deciding what to do, what not to do. So that is a judicial function as well. In some states, this judicial powers, giving what do you say, punishment under these judicial powers, has been taken away and given to a judicial magistrate. So initially, you remember why we have written a point under after independence till 1960s. Uh, there is a point where district collector is the be all and end all of everything. He has the power of SP being answerable to that person. Uh, he is responsible to give direction uh, for law and order. He has the function of the judicial magistrate as well. So that was the immensity of the power under one office. Now these powers have been taken away from here and there. SP is responsible for law and order to the DM, but all the policing functions, the SP will be answerable to his senior or her senior, SSP, senior superintendent of police. So police functions, they'll be answerable. When it comes to law and order functions, they're answerable to the DM. Which part was a division of roles? What all have you written? Fear of the state, that is magistracy. Na? So write down under development management function. You drink water first, then I'll read. Under development management function, first function is human welfare. I mean, write it para-wise only. Human welfare, poverty reduction, service delivery, etc. So under this, the approach is very participatory, persuasive, and flexible. It is also bottom up in nature. is also bottom up in nature. Bottom up means, there are two different things: bottom up and top down. So top down means from the top. For example, I have a very imagine I had a very high-handed approach in class. So no questions will be asked. Whatever I say, you just follow. Okay? There is no questioning. There is no interaction. That means this is a very top-down approach. In class, I ask you, what do you want to, which topic aren't you feeling comfortable? What should we repeat? Are there any questions or not? This means I'm involving you in the day-to-day functioning of the class. Right? That means that's a bottom-up approach. So development can be from the central government to say asking the district or the panchayat to do something, or the gram panchayat is forming their own plans and doing development. So one is top down, another is bottom up. The approach is participatory, persuasive, flexible, and bottom up. Uh, the tools used for development management are usually funds through DRDA, coordination meetings, NGOs, NGOs, and PRIs, Panchayati Raj institutions, NGOs, and PRIs. Identity of the collector here is of a coordinator, that is the DDO. That is the DDO. Development management हो गया. Next, right, law and order. Functions under this are maintenance of public order, prevention of crime, authoritative. So the approach of the district administration or the DM is authoritative, coercive, rigid, and top down. The district magistrate uses police force, criminal sections under uh, BNS, BNSS, whatever. BNSS होगा ना procedural. Uh, BNSS or CRPC, right? Whatever you want. BNSS हो गया ना. So this role is role of a district magistrate. Now, can you see how the role of district magistrate and district development officer is very different? One is a developmental function, other is a very controlling function, regulatory function. Okay. Now, right, the central dilemma, lies in the question that how can the same person, how can the same person who orders a lathi charge as a DM be trusted by the same people, be trusted by the same people the next day, next day as their chief developmental officer, as their chief developmental officer. You can see the central dilemma. Yes. So the first set of arguments, first set of argument is the argument for separation. The argument for separation. The two roles require different temperaments and skill. Different temperaments and skill. The authoritarian role of the DM. The authoritarian role of the DM taints the participatory role of the developer. Participatory role of a developer. This dual role, this dual role is a colonial legacy. Uh, the second ARC, the second ARC suggested that the law and order function, suggested that the law and order function should be separated, should be separated, and the collector, and the collector should become the district development commissioner. District development commissioner focusing solely, focusing solely on development, solely on development, and working closely with the Zilla Parishad, and working closely with the Zilla Parishad. Next point you write within this argument for separation only. A particular recommendation called the police commissionerate system. In many large cities, this particular separation has already been implemented. Already been implemented. The commissioner of police is given magisterial powers. Is given magisterial powers. And the district collector's role is limited to revenue and non-law and order functions. And non-law and order functions. Non-law and order functions. Now in Delhi, imagine Delhi is a commissionerate system. You all, if you go and see big police stations, there will be terms like Office of Assistant Commissioner of Police. So there is no SP in Delhi. And it's a commissionerate. Now, how does a commissionerate function? Understand this thing, and then we'll move forward. White was better. This is better or white? This is good. Okay. This is bottom up approach. Now in Delhi, there is no DG or DIG, especially that we see in states. There is no Director General of Police. There is Commissioner of Police. Imagine, why did we need a commissionerate system? Or how is a commissionerate system different from the normal district administrative system? Now see, under district administrative system, we have realized something that, for example, any law and order situation arises, the SP is answerable to the DM. So at a district level, it is the uh, it is the DM who is responsible for law and order. In a commissionerate system, this changes. The police is solely responsible for law and order. And whom does it directly report to? The Commissioner of Police. Who does the Commissioner of Police directly report to? The Home Department, or the what do you say, the Home Ministry of either a state. And in case of Delhi, it directly reports to the Home Ministry of the Union of India. Here also, there is a hierarchy. Yesterday only we were discussing, right, which all officers are where. Now, whom does, for example, there is a police commissioner of Delhi. They go to the Home Department to report law and order situation. Who exactly in the Home Department is listening to them, or are they reporting to? The secretary. Who is a secretary? Hmm? I mean, who is the secretary? He's an IAS officer, right? Here also, that hierarchy of generalist hierarchy being there. Okay, that's what I wanted to explain. So here, the SP is not answering to a DM. Here, the commissioner is directly answering to the secretary. So that hierarchy is always there. That is why the second ARC says the monopoly of generalist administrative service officer is so significant that specialist officers cannot reach the pinpoint of it. Whatever the commissioner has to say to the minister, the commissioner has to go through the secretary. And secretary is essentially the one running the show in the ministry. Yes? So, okay, so commissionerate system, even though it is, imagine, I believe Mumbai is also a commissionerate. Mumbai is a commissionerate. Hyderabad is also a commissionerate. So you would want to be of Hyderabad, I believe. Not Hyderabad. Why? Andhra Pradesh. So, what is the new capital? Amaravati. Yeah? It will be Amaravati is. So, Pawan always gets shy when we talk these things. So, at a state level also, imagine the Commissioner of Police of Hyderabad. The Commissioner of Police is adequately, is answerable to the state government's Home Secretary. Okay? So that means that hierarchy is always there between the IAS and the rest of the services. Generalist, so specialist services are always below. Effectively, I mean, effectively, commissioner being answerable to the secretary is just a nominal thing. Any day, commissioner has much more powers than any secretary can ever have. But again, that hierarchy is that way. Okay. Now, uh, when it comes to uh, the commissionerate system, so there is no division of labor between different services. It's purely the Indian police service that dominates the hierarchy. Why was there a requirement of commissionerate system? For example, why does these big cities have commissionerate systems? So imagine UP has uh, till Noida there is a SP. Once we enter Delhi, it's the commissionerate. Why is this so? Why was there a requirement of a new form of system? Emerging situations in cities. Yes, absolutely. See, cities are a complex governance problem. That is why when we go to a rural district, the district magistrate is a big person there. But if we go to in a city like Delhi, nobody knows the district magistrate. Why is this so? Because in cities, the role of government is very minimal if you think about it. It's significant, but it's very minimal. Because when it comes to providing services, it's mostly the private sector that provides services. Yes. Whenever private sector provides these services, there is a more market dominance in cities. Now, let's go back to two forms of state. What was this police state doing initially? Hmm? But when it came to approach towards citizens, it was maintaining, I mean, it was controlling the population. So, first role is policing, second role is getting taxes and revenue. Actually, think about it. In Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, wherever you resonate more, does the government do anything more than mostly these functions? Not much. Yes. Electricity is provided by uh, electricity is provided by discoms, right? State distribution companies. The municipality provides water. Yes. Of course, water, small roads are maintained by municipalities. Very important functions they do. But when it comes to visibility of the state, visibility of state is not there. When was the last time you visited a district collector's office or any office in a city? Rarely you do. But very high chances your frequency of visits to police station can be higher rather than going to government department secretariat offices. Why is this so? Because whenever market dominates, state's role becomes minimal to collect taxes and to police that area. These areas, which are cities, they have such powerful market forces that state does not need to or isn't able to. Both. There is no need and there is no state's ability to compete with the private sector in providing goods and services to citizens in cities. Okay. That is why state, the showcase of state is through these primary functions. That is why policing becomes the primary function. In policing, what? For example, what all is police responsible for? Traffic, crime, but basically traffic and crime, yeah? Movement of people and stopping crime amongst people. For this to happen, there is no need for state to be a developmental state. State can play that role that was playing under the new public management. Okay. State at the back seat. Okay. State just controls law and order. Rest, you do whatever you want to do, because people are going to private schools. People, there are private hospitals that people are going to. Market has enough capacity to deliver goods and services. Of course, this argument is a very neoliberal argument that I am making. Ideally, it is the state's responsibility to provide good food, clean air, education, and affordable healthcare to people. Okay, Mamdani's argument at the city level. This is the municipality's responsibility, and this is what even Aam Aadmi Party government wanted to do in Delhi. But essentially, when it comes to competing with the market, state takes a backseat. Because policing is a primary function, police is the first thing you see in a city when it comes to the government. Yes. The traffic police is there. Under the commissionerate system, the traffic police also comes in. So, controlling the traffic flow, and controlling the crime rates, investigation, everything is done by the police. To deal with such areas, specific areas that are acting as city states within a particular country, this commissionerate system was created. This commissionerate system makes police the sole authority that actually is dealing with the citizens. Why is police the sole authority? Because police, if it is answerable to a lot of people, policing functions will stop. Traffic police, you don't need the traffic police to be answerable to a lot of people. Traffic police needs to make decisions on the go. Yes. So therefore, a new system was created because this is a different level of governance that is going to happen. New system of commissionerate system was created. It is headed by the commissioner of police. There are deputy commissioner of police, additional deputy commissioner of police. So it comes down to, at the street level, we see traffic police, we see constables stopping your car at times. So commissionerate system was developed because of this. Now you understand the commissionerate system wholly. Okay. I'll dictate notes of commissionerate system as we go on. But following our discussion on this development, management, and law and order, you write the second argument. First argument was argument for separation. The second argument is argument for integration. It is the it is the prestige of the magistracy. Magistracy that gives the collector the authority to get development work done, to get the development work done. Other departments listen to the DM because he is the DM. Next point you write within this only, law and order and development are interlinked. Law and order and development are interlinked. You cannot have development without peace. You cannot have development without peace. The district magistrate controlling both controlling both can have a unified command. Can have a unified command. During crisis management, during crisis management, both functions both functions are needed simultaneously. Both functions are needed simultaneously. Therefore, a single point of command, that is the DM, is essential. Single point of command, that is the DM, is essential. So now you see there are two spectrums of arguments. One saying कि भाई इन दोनों को अलग अलग करो. Another saying both work together. Okay, write down a quote. You use it wherever you find suitable. essays में काफी काम आता है. Development is security. Security is development. This is by, I guess, Robert McNamara. He was, I guess, the security advisor to the president of the United States for a long time. The national security advisor, this guy. Development is security. Security is development. Use it wherever you want to. So one side of argument is saying this. Okay? Other side of argument is saying why these developmental functions and security functions are very different because one is bottom up, one is top down. Therefore, we need to separate these functions. So, if we if you if we think about it, of course, at a rural setting, any office that wants to do development, that office should have the authority to punish people. Yes. Else, what will happen? Two different centers of power will emerge: the SP and the DM. And if DM does not have control over the SP, state is more of a police state then. Yes. That's why a civilian control over plenary powers is very much required. That is why DM's office is always at the top. That is why the police commissioner is answerable to the secretary of the home department. Are you able to understand why a civilian control is there over armed armed force? So, who heads the armed forces in India? The president. Okay, so there is a civilian control. So it has to be capped off by civilian control. That is why district magistrate's office is very much important. And law and order functions are an integral part of carrying out any of the issues that are going on. Okay? Now, following this, you write an issue under parastatals. Understand? Okay. Parastatal organizations. A parastatal is an agency or body, agency or body that is owned, controlled, that is owned, controlled, or sponsored by the government, sponsored by the government, but operates with a degree of autonomy, but operates with a degree of autonomy from the main government departmental structure, from the main government departmental structure. The word para means alongside. They function alongside the state, alongside the state, not directly within its ministerial hierarchy, not directly within its ministerial hierarchy. The purpose of these institutions or organizations, so they are created to achieve specific objectives that are deemed difficult, that are deemed difficult to meet within the to meet within the rigid framework of government rules, rigid framework of government rules. Example, financial rules or recruitment policies, things like that. In India, they are in many forms. Example, so first form would be such as PSUs, public sector undertakings, or state-owned enterprises. Such as um, commercial bodies में ONGC, BHEL, state transport corporations. Under statutory corporations, under statutory corporations, they are created by Act of Parliament, such as Damodar Valley corporations. Damodar Valley corporations. Next comes societies. These are forms of parastatal societies. They are registered under the Societies Registration Act of 1860. 1860. Example, District Rural Development Agency. CSIR, DRDA, CSIR example. Next form is boards and commissions within parastatals. These are set up for specific functions. Example, Khadi and Village Industries Commission. Khadi and Village Industries Commission. Central Silk Board, etc. Right, next, the governments governments create parastatals based on the following logic, for the following reasons, whatever. First is flexibility, that is to escape the and procedural rigidities, red tape and procedural rigidities of government departments. Second is autonomy, to allow for independent, professional, and quick decision making. Then comes specialization. To build a pool of specialized technical, to build a pool of specialized technical and managerial talent for a specific task, Then there are commercial principles. To operate commercial enterprises, with a business-like efficiency, business-like efficiency. Now, write down what are the key issues with these parastatals. First issue is the accountability deficit. This is the most critical issue, as parastatals exist in an accountability vacuum, right? They exist in an accountability vacuum. Firstly, because there is no direct ministerial accountability. A minister can often deflect a question in the parliament, claiming the parastatal is autonomous in nature. Hence jeopardizing parliamentary responsibility. Jeopardizing parliamentary or legislative responsibility. Next, right, no market accountability. Unlike private firms, most parastatals, especially loss-making PSUs, are not subject to market disciplines. Or disciplines क्या होता है? Discipline. They operate with a soft budget constraint. They operate with a soft budget constraint, meaning they know that the government will bail them out. The government will bail them out. So there is no real penalty for failure. There is no real penalty for failure. We studied this under PSUs also, of budget. Next point you write, vague oversight. Now, vague oversight is an overlapping point with the first point you have written. Let it be. Next point, right? Undermines democratic decentralization. Undermines democratic decentralization. Uh, right. Parastatals have been used by state, deliberately used by state and central governments to bypass elected local bodies, to bypass elected local bodies that are Panchayati Raj institutions, of course. Example, right? DRDA. DRDA was set up as a registered society. DRDA was set up as a registered society, that is a parastatal, and was chaired by the district collector, and was chaired by the district collector. For decades, almost all central government funds, for decades, almost all central government funds for anti-poverty and rural development schemes were routed through the DRDA, not the Jila Parishad. This this crippled the PRIs, starved them of funds, starved them of funds, and kept power concentrated in the hands of the collector, concentrated in the hands of the collector, defeating the very spirit of the 73rd Amendment Act. Very spirit of the 73rd Amendment Act. Just 5 minutes break, guys. We need to edit this video's title also. Let me text the guy. काफी syllabus है यार. We'll also have to discuss the issues that we have missed out in the previous chapters, ना? उसमें तो बस हमने syllabus ही किया है. Haven't done the issues under that. Just open the syllabus once. I'll see here. Syllabus evolution of Indian administration we have completed all of it. Philosophical constitutional framework of government that is also completed mostly. Private sector undertakings we have completed. Within union government and administration, lot of issues are there. Recent trends, intergovernmental relations, PMO and central secretariat we have done, but other issues are remaining. Plans and priorities, economic development, social justice, a lot of things are issues need to be discussed under this. State government and administration issues need to be discussed under this. So we have done only the syllabus part of it, not the issues yet. I should have started with issues actually.
One thing we can do is, in notes, if we can get like the PDF form on there, and it's where we could, cover the PDF file as reference. We want to cover lots.
Of course that thing can be done, but the issue is all the topics that have been covered before under paper 2. Lot of issues are there, issues that are asked in exam. देखते हैं कुछ करते हैं. Let's resume. खत्म करते हैं इसको थोड़ा जितना बचा है. काफी बचा है यार. बाद में ही खत्म होगा नेक्स्ट क्लास में. रिविजन ऑफ द ऑफिस एंड पॉलिटिकल इंटरफेरेंस. ठीक है. Parastatals we are doing ना. Now, defeating the very spirit of 73rd Amendment, I guess this is the last thing we discussed. Yes. Uh, then comes the myth of autonomy. Next point, the myth of autonomy. Parastatals are supposed to be autonomous. Parastatals are supposed to be autonomous, but in practice, they suffer from constant political and bureaucratic interference. Constant political and bureaucratic interference. The controlling ministries, secretary, and other IAS officers often sit on the board of the parastatals, often sit at the boards of the parastatal. They treat the organization as a subordinate office, interfering in day-to-day decisions, interfering in day-to-day decisions, and killing any real autonomy, and killing any real autonomy. Political interference. Ministers often interfere in appointments, in terms of appointments, right? Appointing chairmen or board members based on party loyalty. After appointments, right? Pricing, forcing PSUs to keep prices low for political reasons. Example, electricity, fertilizer, things like that. Forcing PSUs to keep prices low for political reasons. For political reasons. Investments. Forcing investment in politically favorable location. In politically favorable locations, even if it's commercially unviable, even if it is commercially unviable. When it comes to recruitment, next is recruitment. Recruitment appointment same ही चीज है, patronage system in recruitment and appointment वही. Next point is financial inefficiency and bureaucratization. Financial inefficiency and bureaucratization. Far from being efficient, many parastatals, especially PSUs, have become white elephants. Especially PSUs have become white elephants. Do you understand what white elephants mean? What is white elephant? So basically, white elephant is a term used. For example, if the elephant is white, it is considered he can't work. He's only a showpiece. So you have to feed the elephant, take care of the elephant, but that elephant does not work for you. So anything that is huge in nature takes a lot of public money or a lot of expenditure, a lot of care, and that thing does not pay off. It's a white elephant. Okay? For example, if a large infrastructure project is built, if World Cup is happening, huge stadiums are built in a lot of places, and those stadiums nobody is using after the World Cup. Those stadiums are like white elephants. You will understand. Mhm. So why are these parastatals white elephants? They are there taking a lot of money and attention, but they are not giving anything in return. Loss making. Many state level PSUs are chronically loss making, are chronically loss making, draining the public exchequer with constant bailouts, draining the public exchequer with constant bailouts. Next point is within this bureaucratization. Instead of developing a commercial culture, instead of developing a commercial culture, they have simply replicated the the rigid hierarchical and slow moving culture of a government department of a government department. Next point within this is a deputation culture. The practice of sending IAS officers on deputation. I mean, this paper feels like a IAS officer bashing session. Everything is a problem with IAS officer. Paper in the sense, I mean, this paper too. Yeah, yeah. In PSUs also, we have bashed them quite a bit. The practice, no, this is not any academic paper. These are my handwritten notes. I have made a lot of things. Some are pictures from some books. And the practice of sending IAS officers on deputation to the CEOs of technical slash commercial parastatals is a major problem. Of technical commercial parastatals is a major problem. A generalist administrator, a generalist administrator is often unequipped, is often unequipped to run a highly specialized commercial enterprise. Highly specialized commercial enterprise. Example, a power corporation or a chemical factory. Next point is fragmentation and overlap. Fragmentation and overlap. The tendency to create a new parastatal for every new problem, for every new problem, for a new parastatal for every new problem has led to a fragmented administrative landscape, has led to a fragmented administrative landscape. Proliferation of parastatals. So states have hundreds of boards, corporations, and agencies. Hundreds of boards, corporations, and agencies. There are turf wars also. That creates turf wars between parastatals and the main line department. For example, the state water board might be in constant conflict with state's irrigation department, state's irrigation department. This lack of coordination, this lack of coordination makes whole of government approach, whole of government approach nearly impossible to implement. I'll explain what whole of government approach means. Clear? Uh, Next, right, the recommendations given by second ARC, the recommendations given by second ARC. We'll write recommendations first. Explain, understand this whole of government approach. This term or this phrase, you might witness or encounter this directly in your mains question paper. Charge पे लगा दो. Whole of government approach. In whole of government approach, what is happening is, now imagine, let's take an example, which is the Swachh Bharat mission. In the Swachh Bharat mission, what has happened is the who cleans the streets? For example, let's take a city of Delhi. We have to implement Swachh Bharat mission. Okay? Who cleans the streets? The municipality. Okay. Now, within the Swachh Bharat mission, the municipality is cleaning the streets, keeping, collecting the trash and throwing them away. Which organization is telling you to keep the dry trash and the wet trash, gila kuda and sukha kuda, alag alag? Which organization is telling you? It's usually Ministry of Family Health and Welfare, maybe, or Ministry of. I mean, there is one ministry which will be making these advertisements, okay, making different. Who is appealing to the public to not throw garbage? The Prime Minister and the central government. Across the country, movements are being taken out by uh, the district administration to clean a lot of things. While these movements are being taken out, who is taking care of law and order? The Indian Police Services. While all of these are happening, okay, for example, in a city, the traffic is also being controlled. Okay. That means a particular program. Now, how to, for example, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has a lot of components. Okay? Recently, we have come into something called providing Swachh Bharat Abhiyan should also include clean rivers, clean canals and rivers. Okay. So who will go ahead and clean it? The respective state department or a particular parastatal that will be created to do so. Cleaning Ganga mission, Nirmal Ganga mission, things like that. That means anything that is to be achieved, the government needs to work as a whole, as a collective entity to achieve it. It is called the whole of government approach. This whole of government approach resonates to a particular idea that we studied. There are different ideas. Uh, in paper one, it resonates to one form of idea. What is that idea? It is not within the theorists or thinkers. It is a broad, general idea, particular approach. Is this new public administration? Somewhat. Is this NPM? Is this new public management? Or is it good governance? It's good governance. Why is it good governance, whole of government approach? There is one word I am searching in your answer. One particular word. What is governance? Or what makes governance special? No. I mean, of course, there is accountability, all of those elements. But why governance and whole of government approach? Why whole of government approach symbolizes good governance or is an important element of good governance? Formation of networks, people participating, different entities participating with each other and then delivering something. Hmm? Whole of government approach. Whole of government approach means all the government departments, including parastatals, are working to achieve something. Now imagine uh, there are rising tariffs against India. How to deal with it? Now, the foreign ministry is also dealing with it. The home ministry is also dealing with it. The finance ministry is also dealing with it through bringing in certain economic reforms. Okay. So these kind of dealings, where all of the government's machinery is put together to work towards it, is whole of government approach. Similarly, during COVID-19, the whole the R&D agency, starting from the R&D agency to the police in the district, everybody was put into action. So this is the whole of government approach. Okay. Rest will do continue tomorrow. Next class.